I think you just can't bear to let a gorgeous guy like me out of your sight. Welcome back, everybody. Here we are with the part 7 of episode 93. And I started weathering. Okay, so I didn't actually start weathering. I tested some weathering. Um, this time we are going to be weathering this. This is the starboard side of the Mandible, and we are going to weather it. I wanted to do a test run to see how well everything's going to turn out. Now, the only thing I haven't done was done any matte painting on it or anything, but like this is still a little bit damp and whatnot, so that's one of the reasons why I hadn't matte painted it. But I like the effects how it came out. So that is starts back here, and so we have all that. Um, so the interesting thing about this one is I started off barely being able to find any photos, at least in my own collection. And I found photos here of this section all the way up to, say, here. And I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll be able to do that, and I'll see if I can find anything else, but I'll basically just have to guess on what the rest of this is going to look like. And so I was looking through it, and then I'm like, let me go look to see about those photos that I purchased, and I went over and looked at those. And let me tell you, there were plenty of them to look at over there. So I've got basically shots from here, 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 and here. There's a total of 7 that just shows this. Then I've got a couple that shows the top, or the top, and then the bottom. So I'll be able to kind of take care of those. So yeah, we are going to get started on that. We're going to start in the back and kind of work our way forward. So I know that this section here is going to be black, and I know that because I can kind of see that section. Now this part's really hard to see because of the fact that the cockpit is in the road on the photo that I have. So not a lot I can do with that, but I can pretty much see that there's going to be some dark in that section there. And let me just see if I can find one of the lower photos. Rotate that one around so I can actually tell it. Yeah, so the lower part, we're just going to have a little bit of rust and whatnot down through there. Everything else is going to come out okay. Nothing terribly major there. So what I'm going to use is I've got this black panel line accent color. So this doesn't come out black. It comes out, no matter how well I mix it, seems it comes out rather kind of a very dark brown, which has its purposes, I can tell you that. But for some of this stuff, I need black. And I don't know if shaking the crap out of it would help. Now these say to shake. Now most of these paints you don't want to shake because you get air bubbles in them. But these ones, I looked at them and they actually said to shake them well or use a stirring stick. And so we are going to just shake them up and get started. I'm going to do this section and then, I'm going to do the brown first on this section because I need to let it dry before I do anything else. And we'll kind of go from there. So from the best that I can tell, the top is going to be very brown and dirty. So there's that. We have that going for us. And I can see that in a couple of the photos. But the one that, let me show you a couple of photos that I have here. So there's this one here, which is the side view that I was talking about. You can see where the cockpit's really in the road. And then I have this other one, and both of these, well, okay, so the second one I've used as a reference for the cockpit stuff, but you can see kind of down through there. The lighting and the shadows are a little bit off. The first one really shows the brown and basically the dirt, which is what I'm rather interested in. So we're going to put all that kind of dirt in here, and we're going to do that with this brown panel line stuff. And the trick is that we don't want to have it go too heavy. So I'm just going to, I really want it to just color this in and not have a lot of kind of darker sections or whatever. So before we go, um, let's get just some generic dirt in all of these, because there's not going to be a lot on this model that's going to actually be clean. All right, now we'll come back when that's dry and go from there. Okay, so this is dry. I'm going to put some more on. I'm just looking here, and I see that this needs some brown throughout it. Some dirt, if you will. So we're just going to help it out now. And we can come back and get some more up here. All right. I think that's the best I can do for now. I gotta let this dry so I can put on some additional coats, and then we can come back with, we'll probably use the airbrush next, and then we'll come back with some rust and finish up with that. We may end up doing like a light brown, something. Might do a do a test try with this flat earth paint, doing like a dry brush, because the brown is all well and good, but there's a couple spots where it seems to be a little bit kind of a different color. Also, like here, this is very dry brushed, and I can't really dry brush with this, so I need to do something different. I'm just going to try. Probably shouldn't do this, but so this here, it's got this distinctive line, and if I can get that line to stay like that, I'll be good to go. And then of course, we got a little bit here, but we're gonna try to put another touch just to really kind of darken it up. Now, if I can keep that like that, then that part I feel like will be fairly done. It'll be close enough for government work. Maybe I'll do one last kind of all over and darken the entire thing up yet again. But this section back here will definitely need another coat of stuff. And I may end up just kind of painting that as well. We'll just give that a bit of a darkening as well. Yeah. Yeah, let's leave it like that, and we'll let it dry, and then we'll come back and see how it come out. Boy, you guys, if my display is anything like what you guys see, I mean, you can kind of tell what I'm doing, but only barely. We'll give a nice close-up on everything, so just kind of show. So I did these grates here, and the top's supposed to be a little bit darker than the bottom. The bottom just helped kind of show the lines. Then there's this one here. And if you get the angle right, you can see it's supposed to be kind of a roundish color. And I might come back and do a little bit of that. And then there's these, of course. See if we can get those to focus in. You can kind of see those. And I'll probably come back and give that another little color as well. But we'll keep this propped up like this so it'll stay level. That'll help it so I don't get any weird runs or anything like that. And we'll come back after it's all dry and start with another coat, doing the brown and maybe a little bit more black in there. We may do some actual paint right in the middle of that and see how that goes. So see you guys back when we get back from that. Okay, welcome back. We're going to change kind of directions a little bit. So before we were just using the washes. Done pretty well with that. I went ahead and did a spray of the matte because that wash, they tend to get real shiny and glossy, and then I feel like it has a hard time actually biting. And it's interesting too because there was a distinct dark line there, and after I sprayed that matte, it really lightened things up. So that's interesting. I would have never guessed that matte would have lightened things up so much. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just actually going to dry brush some of this. So let's go ahead and get to that. There we go. That'll work. Okay. All right. There is that. Let's get our airbrush ready to go, and we'll get that done. I'm going to go get all that stuff prepped. We'll do the airbrushing. We'll come back and finish up what we can. All right, time for some rust. Woohoo! All right, so we're using a bit of the orange rust. This is what I used on my little trial run here, and it works out pretty well. There's going to be a few spots where I kind of don't want it to be as heavy as other spots, so we'll kind of play that one by ear. So we're going to start off, we're going to have a spot right through here. I'm going to let this dry, and then I'm going to come back with another clear coat. Hopefully it doesn't subdue it down too terribly much. If it does, I don't know what we'll do. We'll figure it out, I guess. But let's see what that looks like after the clear coat and it dries off. All right. See you guys when we get that done. Welcome back, everybody. So I went ahead and sealed it. The problem I have with sealing with the clear coat is, for whatever reason, like some of these washes, particularly the black, it really kind of takes some of the intensity out. And the bad thing is I still see a bit of a shine. You can still see it in here, and there's still a bit there here. So if I turn it this way, it looks very dark. Head on, not so much, which is fine, I suppose. And then from that angle, not quite as much. I mean, ideally, the colors would be getting down in the crevices anyway, but yeah, it just, I don't know. That part I don't care for. It didn't seem to really mess with any of the other colors, which is fine, which is good. So I just wanted to kind of show off what we got going on here. So this is our kind of our brownish. Now in the camera, that looks kind of, I don't know, almost like a reddish, but it's not. Live and in person, it's brown, and it actually looks more kind of thoroughly brown than what you're seeing there. But yeah, we've got this section here, and most of that is with the wash. But then I also took a little bit of airbrush and did that. We've got this section here, a little bit of rust down there, and then that with a little touch there. And then we've got just kind of the rust. It's funny because in the camera, a lot of this rust looks very neonish, and I assure you it's not that in live and in person. So apparently my color is a little off in the camera. But yeah, so that's what we got going on here. This looks very orange in the camera, but it's brown. And But the only thing I didn't do, I thought about going back, is there's supposed to be a really kind of darkish brownish kind of thing there. Maybe I'll go back and still do that. I'll do that off camera. But essentially, all of that is done. And you can see all that there. It's funny, that looks very vibrant and on the camera, but again, in person, not so much. It's rather faint. So quite interesting. That is going to be it, though, for this. We've got that all done. Uh, very fairly happy with how it came out. It at the very least it gives a good solid flavor of what it's supposed to look like. I'm rather happy with this section here, and these grills. I'm really happy with how they came out. It was from the picture I saw, it kind of looked like this round circle, and so all I did was I just took the wash and just kind of kept going, and it filled in the crevices and came out really well. So yeah, pretty happy with how that came out. That will allow me to kind of proceed. Keep in mind that the rest of this is going to need to get done as well. So be on the lookout for that at some point in the future. So we've got this side done as well as this side. So uh, this was with the smoke, and I really kind of um, maybe I could have done that with some of this over here and made it look more kind of grimy, but it wasn't a lot of instances where it was supposed to look super grimy. Um, yeah, but I like how it came out. All right. Well, thank you very much, everybody, for watching. I very much appreciate it. And may the force be with you always.